Hello, everybody, and welcome to the broadcast. Excuse me. I'm newtmechanist, and tonight we are continuing our playthrough of Dinocop, a detective investigation game in which we play as a silly dinosaur investigating silly dinosaurs in a world of horrible racism and cannibalism and the like. It is, the cognitive dissonance is real. See, we are joined by Key. Hey there, Key. Welcome, welcome. Checking in with the kitties real quick. We have Sky watching the TV / Molly from the tree. Mason and Sammy on the bed. Ember on my shoulder. Molly, like I mentioned, is in the play area at the TV. I heard her give it a little smack. Not sure where Sherbet has run off to. He's probably in one of his many hiding spots. But yeah, Dinocop. And coughing. Amber. What are you doing? I noticed this water jug is empty, and because of that, even though it is bigger than me, I can shove it around. It's a lot of like water jugs and the like have spouts that are kind of like a little flip switch, and the issue with that is it's really easy for Catface to flip it, and because it's an angular surface, they're like, oh, I could rub my chin on that, declare it's mine, and simultaneously itch my chin, which can flip the switch and let the water flow, which is a problem. Game screen. Wonder why that was off. I don't remember turning it off, but here we are. Okay. So we know. Let's refamiliarize ourselves with the controls. If we had binoculars or similar, we could look at when she gets swarmed by a crowd, we could watch in with the binoculars. The butcher here is in the bathroom during this period. We could try to follow him again and figure out where he is. These three want to know about what the butcher is up to. I haven't figured out why we would care that he's signing autographs, but we might need to loop back around there. Hey there, casemate. Yep, it's more Dinocop time. Sherbet has joined Molly. He is taking swings at the TV. Let's see here. And then Paula talks with her boss on the phone in room 104 in the evening in order to figure out what the password for the next day is going to be to lock the case that contains the flashlight, which we will need for some other stuff. But we can't figure out the password unless we can do something like lip read from a distance. I assume that that's the case. There might be some other thing that we can find, but we're kind of running out of room in the tool belt. Pat is in the inner courtyard during this period. Their sweater is missing, and the best indication we have is that it's in the laundry room. But it's unclear how to get in there. Because we can't just follow the maid, you know? Well, we can, it just won't work. I don't know. Oh. Ah. Beverage. Okay. You're supposed to be able to get up on the platform with him. Like he's balancing on the scaffolding that is being built to make a stage. And it said maybe you could get up there with him to talk to him, but I don't know how we do that. Might have been able to see it. Sherbet has hopped up on the box that the TV is balanced on in order to try to take a swing from the top. I just got that classic cat meets your gaze and just kind of goes, "What? I'm not doing anything." As he is like laying half across the top with one paw outstretched into the middle. The TV has a kind of an acrylic plate over the front of it. It's not as durable as I would fully like because they can still kind of lightly impact the screen. But it's better than nothing. Okay, where is Kronjaeger right now? Because we know afterwards he's in the basement lounge playing pool. And we know when they head into the bathroom, they lock the door behind them and they get high on something. But without the flashlight, we can't tell what's going on. So there's got to be something else we can give the Epiblop members here to convince them to give us the binoculars, which will cascade into a bunch of other stuff. So it's going to take us a moment to remember how to do all this stuff. So Kronjaeger perhaps is already up to their room. And their room is 205. Those who were watching last time, this is kind of a time loop game. Time does not reset narratively. It's just the next day, and the next day happens exactly like the prior day does. But people are in different places at different times, and you need to figure out how to interact with them in the proper way at the proper time. Whether that's just to find out what they're doing, or... There's Epiblop. Okay, they are in the room during this period. So right now they're in their bedroom. And they'll come out and they'll head to the basement bathroom. We might need to figure out more about Steve here. Steve's name here appears to be an acronym, or at least the same initials as a disgraced baseball player who was accused of doping before the team went pro enough to kind of join the Human League, to go from the Dino League to Major League Baseball. The player who did continue on became famous and immediately left the league to become a politician before playing any games was Jan Zero here. So there's something between those two, but we don't know what is. Dino Kid here wants us to get a plushie back for her. A cat in the kind of hedge maze stole it from her. And we can creep up on the cat, but it seems like in order to get it back, we need the flashlight, because there are various, like, knotholes and whatnot in trees that we can't see into without the flashlight. And I don't know what we'll get for that. Now, it's possible that we don't need the binoculars for Paula here, but we can't, if we go to her door, we can't hear in the room. And the room is a balcony room. Room 104. So if we run back down. And that is correct, casemate. A part of the investigation in this is not only using the routine, but identifying the routine. So we're here, which should be the first balcony on the right, or the first window on the right is what we were looking out of there. So that's Paula's room right there. And there is her sleeping. So 102 here gives us access to see Paula. And maybe we could listen from below in the lounge here, or kind of the little patio. I don't know what's up with that guy. They seem to be having a good time each evening. There's Paula down there locking the flashlight box. There's also wiring in that box. Oh, that's right. This is the serial killer's room. I think he got something like 5 years for killing 8 people, or killed 8 people over the course of 5 years, but got out of prison very fast because he has a good lawyer. He came here because he only kills, what was it? Tall, stocky, blonde men. So dinosaurs do not tempt him in any way. But he was also concerned that because he was a serial killer, people might try to hurt him. So he spent most of his time standing here watching people while holding a butcher's knife very prominently. Okay, Paula is leaving. We are going to watch from here. And if that fails, we're going to go down to the little patio here. Actually, no. Paula is going to hang out in the kitchen first. She's going to talk to her sister, who is the cook. The blue Triceratops down there. Maybe see it better through the blurry magnifying lens just a little bit. By now, Kronjaeger and his chicken friend are heading to or close already to the basement bathroom in order to... I think it's supposed to be like mushrooms or something they've got. Okay, well, we know we can get up here. I'm going to assume we're not going to be able to get the password from all the way over here. That's our room. So we're going to go down to the little patio down there. The bellhop has had enough of my nonsense. I sat there ringing the bell to interrupt his sleep over and over and over for a little bit. He got tired of it and took the bell away. At some point in the night, I believe he is supposed to go down to the little baseball trophy room. So it's got to be here or here, because he's getting drunk at the moment. Destiny, ruined, give me booze. Okay. So by talking to him here, we revealed he is drunk in the bar at this time of evening. Let's see, it would be a couple hours yet, and the coffee machine is already off, so we can't skip time right now. So some of it is waiting. There are key moments you can skip in the mornings or in the evenings, like in the prior to 9, you can do things like have a meal or use coffee to skip ahead to about 9 or so. I don't know what the limit on coffee skip ahead is, but they seem to turn the machine off at some point in the evening. And coffee is kind of a variable skip ahead. And you can go to sleep to skip back to the morning. He's been forgetful. Maybe some medication. Scared of pills. My boss doesn't end up losing confidence in me. This is the... Paula always calls her boss at night in order to be reminded of the password or to get the next one. Because she locks it before she goes to get the password. The implication being is they lock it, and by the time they get done talking with their sister and head back up to their room, they've forgotten the code and need to be reminded. Okay. So Steve wanders out and goes over here. And rambles drunkenly. Cheap sparkling. So the implication is after being thrown out, after the accusation of doping, Steve here gets into music under a different name and identity. Is popular for a bit, but is largely kind of they're out of the limelight now. But they seem really invested in the reputation of the player that was thrown out, as well as that they have some sort of active antagonism towards Jan Zero. This is one of the mechanics is sometimes they'll say stuff if you come up and talk to them. Other times they will not say things when you're there to listening. But I can do things like this, where I can spy on them through the inconspicuous holes in the newspaper, and they might say things that I wouldn't otherwise hear from them. Yeah, gonna make Jan pay. He intends to interfere with Jan's efforts to be elected as a politician. So let's see, as of right now, Paula should still be in the kitchen. They work, so this is the bartender and the person that waits tables. Paula's still there. This is the janitor. They set up a chessboard and work through. It sounds like effectively chess puzzles. Should be like that room there. So we might be able to spy from here. We might also be able to catch the graffiti artist from over here, because if we try to get close to them, if we try to approach them, they'll stay masked and run. There is the activist lady, the pterodactyl, leaving the library and heading to their room. Apparently a thing people do with chess is they'll have often very kind of famous board states from a competition or something like that, and they'll try to work out ways to either get out of a bad situation or to move towards a victory from that board state. In the machine learning world, for a while, chess was the big thing. You wanted to make programs that could play chess. Watson and Deep Blue were some of the early famous examples. Okay, he has proceeded to balance precariously. And she has left. But after a while, it came down to chess being essentially a finite set. So a lot of the chess playing programs drifted from machine learning to expert system. Once there was enough computational power, you just had all of the board states laid out and did best case assessment with tweaks, trying to avoid things like local maximums and similar to navigate to the best possible board states, which made them very hard to compete with. Because it became a system that didn't need machine learning to solve it optimally, they moved away from that and instead shifted towards Go, which at the time, because its board state is wildly more complicated than chess, became kind of the next target, because expert systems wouldn't work for it at the moment. Okay, this is Sarah talking about how she's pretty much all work at the moment. Doesn't have much by way of personal relationships, and really, her sister working on the stage at this same hotel has been their biggest social interaction in a while. So these are the two stagehands. They show up. One of them goes to have a bag of chips, and the other one gets a protein bar from two different vending machines. At the end of their shift, the wait staff there, the orange one, goes down to their locker and has a soda. But this is the nature of the game, is who's doing what and when, and what can you do with that information. We have both the timeline that gets revealed as we talk to people. We have the murder board that is slowly filled in with interconnections between folks. Burgundy sweater, round glasses, green cap. We don't have the burgundy sweater yet. That is Pat's sweater that we're trying to get. I don't know what we can do with with that information. And we don't have all of the stuff about dynalism yet. Kind of dinosaur rights activism. So there's one piece that we still need for that. We got Pat's perfume from their room. There's still one more piece there. The reason that we want the ideal outfit is because dinosaur rights in Similar are part of this narrative. We have the idea that the sole dinosaur cop, we are playing as a dinosaur that was engineered to be a police officer. Like, born and raised to be the dinosaur police officer. Given that there's only the one, and their interactions with the dinosaurs are very socially bad. So when we're saying, like, hey, we want to get a warrant to check this room, our partner's like, don't worry about it. Just kick in the door. Nobody cares. We can't, but, like, we are physically unable to. But Bert is I think it's like a Pachycephalosaurus or something like that. They have a heavy kind of skull dome. And the speculation is that that is a sort of ramming implement. So if we can figure out a way to get them to go after the door to room 202 and break it down, that would let us investigate. We want to do that because there's the smell of chicken meat in there. And other dinosaurs have said human meat smells like chicken. Our whole investigation is because there is supposedly human meat at this location. We need to figure out about that burner phone, too. We want the binoculars. We need information on Kronjaeger. And you can feed the rats. If you find occasional pools of rat urine, the smell of it, your character has a strong sense of smell, and you can track things using that. But the rat urine will smell like the things that they like to eat. So if you get one of those and drop it near the hole in the wall that they come out of, they will give you a gift in return. So we go to our timeline again. Paula should be in their room. Or heading to their room. Let's see if we can see them from below at a greater distance here. Okay, they're not yet there and talking to their boss. Well, thank you for the super chat, Casemate. I appreciate it. You're watching the Texans game would have broken something. I take it it's not going well? Hello, Ember. Come on now. Come on. Come on. Yeah. What if we interrupt Paula in some way? Oh, we should save the game. So mysterious uncle is, let's see, the receptionist of the hotel knows that if you're asking for your uncle, to relay it to the guy who runs the store. Who is, so we know that because Kronjaeger has like papers and whatnot that mention that pattern. I seem to be drifting down the steps. Okay, that is at about 3 a.m. is when the graffiti artist shows up. Oh, there's Paula. No, okay, Paula only showed up when they kind of twitched to a new position. Okay, so we missed something there. Let me just... Yeah, this very ominous sound. Never noticed this before. Okay, so they end up falling asleep at work, essentially. He's heading back, probably heading back to his room. So 6 o'clock is supposed to be another key moment for Kronjaeger, as far as the note is concerned. There's nothing stopping, so like right here, Kronjaeger and the chicken are playing pool in the basement lounge. He has 3 different time segments. So there's 6 p.m. and technically 6 a.m., I think. Is there a... There's the green book. Kronjaeger. We got the key. It was clogging up one of the toilets. So we know he has a substance abuse problem. Keep hitting the wrong button. Okay, so there's 6 p.m. Got paid a lot. He is interacting with Jan Zero to remove Brontosaurus meat industry regulations. For my uncle, bring cash. The seller will come and pick up the phone. So we know it was a burner phone that he smashed. What if we jog up to 205 again while they're playing pool? No, he's getting turned around up here. So here are the smashed burner phones. Bought a burner from the bazaar and then destroyed it. Business before bitches and friendships. Paper tissues are littered on the floor underneath it. Okay. I mean, we knew he was conflicted, but I didn't think that's all it would take. Okay, we won't be able to turn that into Appablop until here. But that gets us the binoculars. Like, they'll be asleep at this hour. Or this should be 105 down there. Nope, nope, turned around, turned around. You want to save? Yes, I do. All right, let's see. Anything that we need to try and accomplish beforehand? Wouldn't mind finding Steve before the record thing. Steve is on the 2nd floor. All of these folks are generally going to be... So he's going to have breakfast with... And Kronjaeger will be there. As will Bert. The NPC room. That's the chicken smelling room. Oh, we got turned around again, I think. The gamer that won't leave their bed. The red Appablop member. About this hour, they are going down to... kind of join in at a protest there. Ron Yeager's room. Always useful to see if anybody left their door unlocked. We still don't know where Steve is at this hour. Who else is unaccounted for? Since we had already talked to the serial killer, we were able to inform this guy that the creepy man with a knife was not, in fact, some sort of anti-Brontosaur individual, but somebody that actually sympathized with them. They were originally over there, and he was using the binoculars to spy. You can see Bert, Jan Zero, Kron Jaeger, and Paulo there, the chicken. This guy is wearing a mammoth hat that smells like mammoth meat. This is Bizarre, the guy that... Might as well buy some more accessories. We've been finding so much money laying around. Finding in big quotes. Yeah, we don't know what the connection between Bizarre here and Kron Jaeger fully is yet. Sport shorts. I got an achievement called Capitalist, with the subtext being overconsume. I have purchased all the things. Let's see, we have the blogger, we have the camera person. That is the rat urine smell. So Pat is here. That is the smell of Pat's perfume. Because we talked to her, or we talked to them. We know they're in the dining room at this time. Those are the two pranksters. Can't wait to build our special project. Let's wait until we're in the garden tonight. Ooh. Nobody's listening, except for that guy. Can I spy on them from here? No. Okay, in the evening they go to the garden. Useful. A pterodactyl. Where is she potentially off to? Okay, she hangs out in the dining room at this period. This guy. Yeah, come here. Come here, you. Normally he'll stay like right within arm's reach to get pet, but he'll like smack at things and whatnot to get my attention if I don't give him full attention. But he doesn't want to be held immediately. Like, he'll sit there on my lap and soak up attention, but I have to kind of nab him and pull him over in that. He doesn't like the initial getting picked up, but once he is being held, he's like, oh, okay, this is fine. I asked my only friend to stay here and give me friends staying here to give me some space. I need to rethink our relationship. Now he's eating at the main table. So that's Bert. Oh, okay. I've never actually sat with them. Unless you want to arrest me, leave me alone. That's neat. Never realized that was really an option. Tasty crepes and mammoth bacon. How's your stay going so far? I think we've seen this before, but... yeah, nice clean little room. Get to enjoy the convention. What more could I ask? Wish you could stay here and wander around forever, officer. You enjoy getting lost in your thoughts in the corridors and in conversations with strangers you're unsure you can fully trust? You think that's the epitome of life? Seems a bit grim to me, not gonna lie. I wish you more. That's not what I meant. I've just worked in worse conditions. Always ask for more, officer. So this should have advanced time. We're at 10 now. We are approaching the time when Steve will be heading to sign records. I wonder, actually. This is where the trophies are. Okay, no Steve. Bowman. So this is supposed to be a damaged trophy. Zero. Hello, Sky. Hello. Hello. Yes. Every now and then he wants a full-on hug. Crawl fully up my chest, headbutt my chin, and then just like, you know, scratch my ears and hold me. Sky is currently my oldest cat. I'm trying to think. He's got to be over 10 by now. Somewhere in that vicinity, I think. I'd have to check. But he is a sweetheart, yes. Just a troublemaker. Oof. Hey, 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 hey. Oof. I believe Steve heads up heads down here at some point. So finding out when he does would actually be kind of good. Don't have anything more to sell. Why don't you close? Hotel feels more alive if the shop stays open. This guy jumps off my lap, goes over, and immediately tries to take over my mouse hand. It's jerky. Wonder if there's like some snacks I can find around. The donut was one of the things that the rats wanted. Steve will show up there. Wonder if we can participate in the debate again. There's still one more element of dinolism that we need to discover. The revolutionary dinosaur movement. So in addition to finding the sweater that we need to be his ideal partner, the last thing that we need is another piece of kind of dinolism lore. I need your hard head to help me. I'd say I'm a really helpful person. When I'm in love, I do everything for my partner. Yep, there we go. I can't help you. You're part of the worst institution. If you were someone else, that'd be different. Our fridge broke down earlier. I won't get a lot of tip today. I'd like to kill some time with a sweet drink. So that's until 6 p.m. when Kron Jaeger is supposedly doing something. But we don't want to yet. But that is another... Okay, so now we have a good idea where a door is for most of the day. Steve should be arriving very shortly. They do. They will proceed from where they are to where they're supposed to be. During the transitional period, you generally can't interact with them. And once they arrive, they kind of snap into place. So watch. The minute he crossed over here, he snapped over to the booth. So this is when we talked to him about a letter that we had, that we found that he dropped when he was completely drunk. That was him talking to the activists saying, let's wreck the convention. We aren't playing the music just in case. Again, a lot of times this isn't like the maker of the game isn't a problem, but sometimes, say, the artist or the rights management company that holds it is very aggressive. So I just head all of that off by playing this music. Drink about 8 beers to really enjoy this kind of crust punk. I don't know if that helps us with anything, but we have done it. That was the, can't remember, but it was like traditional music of a particular type of dinosaur. Yeah. Brain back to real life was one of the things that we were able to use during the debate. The debate kicks off here. So at about 2. Those 3 should be over here. Wonder if we can mark that they're here. And convention focused on dinosaur rights should protect all dinosaurs. Yep. Okay, so they're protesting in the lobby. So purple will be in the debate. These 2 will be watching it. Then red goes to the lobby. So the more spots that we can identify where they are, the better. Let's see, how long until we have the debate? Is it 2? And we have time because the actual event only, like, you can participate in it any time during it. Where do we get that? Lobby candy wrapper. Love these candies. Here, take this in exchange. Well, you know what we must do? We must give him way too many lobby candies. Yeah, that was odd. Maybe they no longer work. It's at about 2. I like how when he's holding stuff, it looks like he has his pinky extended. Hey there, Tobias. The question in this kind of thing is, will they stop me? So far, the answer is no, but it's accumulating wrappers, which implies that there is some permanence to what I'm doing. All right, off to the debate. We have enough information for that now. Okay, so nature versus nurture. The last time we went to this, Dinocop had an existential meltdown. Because again, they were effectively bred and raised to be the dinosaur police officer. Interesting. Okay. Since then, we talked to one of the Appablop guys who like gave us some impromptu like psychotherapy. I don't know if it will change. But it seems like the actual topic did not change. Camera rolling? Yes. Great, let's start this again. Under normal circumstance, TV show music plays during that. To everyone joining us from home, welcome to our favorite show, the place in the middle where we might join each other, but maybe not. Your host, the moderate moderator, coming to you live from the Dinosaur Rights Convention, the Cretaceous Hotel in the New Jurassic District. We're going to repeat a couple of the things this session. Nature versus nurture. Where is the line and how do we draw it? No one speaks over anyone else. Everyone takes turns. Priority if you haven't spoken yet. Spoken. Speaking. Here, switching camera views here. Look at this lummox. He's all stretched out. So Kronjaeger goes to start, and Carmen here complains that he always starts. Kronjaeger offers to let her speak first. She says, no, I'm going to let you speak, and then I'm going to tear apart your argument. Kronjaeger gets upset about that, and he doesn't want to speak first now. Yeah, I don't feel like it anymore. Please, time is running. So this is, dinosaurs do a pretty good job of managing that dynamic. They stay faithful to their own aspects of nature while integrating into society. Kronjaeger is a vendor of Brontosaurus meat, amongst other meats, but Brontosaurus meat in particular, which is gained through a program where Brontosauruses can both they can essentially sell their children to be meat, because there is a societal assertion that some brontosaurs are born too handicapped to function in society, and that by being turned into meat, they can actually they can actually be of benefit. This is one of those wow, that's dark aspects of this silly dinosaur game. Apoblop is a Brontosaurus rights group, this being a brontosaur. Person in the crowd complains that, wow, the Brontosaurus rights groups keep turning discussions about the Brontosaurus meat industry into being about Brontosauruses for some reason. An element of their argument is that they have a hard time working in society because they need things like bigger rooms to operate in, that kind of thing. And when that's not supplied, they can't get as gainful employment as others, which puts them in a circumstance where they're often facing, well, do we starve or do I sell this child in order to have enough money for I or the rest of the family to survive? One of the reasons casemate is given is because they have trouble working in areas that other dinosaurs fit. There are a couple, like the cameraman and whatnot, that you think would be in a similar situation, but apparently not. But that seems to be an aspect of it. We don't get anything from Apoblop or any of the people talking that implies they have that sort of firsthand, yeah, those brontosaurs are real prone to this issue. It just seems to be asserted by proponents of that industry. Now, we might find something else out as it goes along. Carmen saying, like, hey, you know, the brontosaurs should be part of the discussion. Carmen saying that, hey, you know, the affected populations should be at the forefront of discussions about how those affected populations should be part of society. The fact that Carmen, who is outside of that population, is saying, hey, wait, the brontosaurs should have a say in this and should have the biggest say in this, implies they don't have a say in this much at all. Jan Zero is is running as effectively one of the first dinosaur politicians running for a major office, and they are part of the Progressive Pro Party. And one of their stances, and the Progressive Pro Party runs against the Kill All Dinosaurs Party, whose primary position is we should murder all dinosaurs. And one of the arguments that we get out of Jan Zero is, well, if you don't want them to vote for us, are you saying they should vote for the Kill All Dinosaurs Party? Which implies Kill All Dinosaurs is a puppet party that is there to create the illusion that there is choice. But part of the party, the Progressive Pro Party is the harm reduction program, which sounds a lot like, well, we're going to do what we were doing before, but we're going to formalize the process as part of like a legal structure while simultaneously deregulating the meat industry. Sounds like a great thing. Why would anybody be against it? Well, they also want to deregulate the meat industry. So it's, we're going to pretend that we're doing something for this population while that doesn't really change their situation much, while simultaneously handing a big win to the group that is driving the primary harm to that population. Again, this is a really dark setting with very real-seeming politics in the silly dino game. Like, look at this art. You wouldn't expect, like, systemic racism and cannibalism to be primary themes. Yeah, the harm reduction program is a bluff to calm us down, while their friends profit off of dinosaur lives even more easily than before. And keep in mind, dinosaurs were originally... This is like Jurassic Park happened. But instead of them going on a rampage and killing the park staff, it became apparent that the dinosaurs were actually intelligent. So ethics debates happened. Some of the park owners, instead of engaging with the dinosaurs, tried to prolong their business model by cutting out the tongues of their dinosaurs. Rightfully, that group of zoo owners got in a lot of trouble for that. But that perspective of the dinosaurs being effectively like second-class citizens pervades the rest of the narrative. I don't like this arrogant woman. She thinks she's better than everyone else. This Jan Zero could help the dinosaur population if he was really about balance. Sadly, he's mostly a puppet who serves the PPP by maintaining cute appearances. They try to appease us with buzzwords and identity politics, but how can they claim they care about dinosaurs when the Less Dinos, Better Dinos Act, which is something that they promote, again, they promote this in contrast to the Kill All Dinosaurs Act that the other party, the Kill All Dinosaurs Party, promotes. So they're saying, well, we don't want to kill all of them. We just want to kill the bad ones. Yeah, so dinosaurs should vote for the Kill All Dinosaurs Party? Don't know any other trick? Dinosaurs should fight for the rights of all their peers. They should refuse to do self-interested bargains with humans to serve personal interest. Is there even a dinosaur left under these scales, Jen, or are you fully hot-blooded now? Which is a fun little spin on an insult. When we say, somebody is without empathy or emotion, they'll be called cold-blooded. And in this case, they're presenting it as an insult, as, oh, are you warm-blooded now? Are you one of them? Your values and pseudo-ethics aren't helpful to navigate the real world. This is the you're being an idealist. That's not how the real world works kind of argument. Yeah, that would be better. That is something that ideally we would strive for, but that's not how the institution works, so we shouldn't change it. Yeah, you're too idealistic. You're divisive. Most people aren't like you, they're like me. Walking the fine line between our nature and society. Now, that's not to say that Jan doesn't say some rational things here. Is I don't care that I have to work harder than my human counterparts to gain respect. I expect it. There isn't that statement, despite the fact that it seems that Jan is a bit of a puppet, could be taken as I acknowledge that we are in a precarious position in this society. We are very clearly viewed as second class. So yeah, I have to work harder. We have to work harder to fight for our place. But this can also rapidly turn into a bootstrap argument, you know? And if you aren't willing to put in extra effort to be a productive part of society, then you're holding everybody back. It's like, why are you attacking me when I'm just trying to help? What do you think? Okay, let's see if he has a breakdown. It's like nature versus nurture. I'm Dinocop. I embody this. How does that feel? Triggers something deep in you. A monster that feeds the void inside you since childhood. Most days you avoid looking at it and you succeed. When you wake up in the middle of the night and you can't go back to sleep, your room feels haunted by his presence and your spine shudders as he whispers in your ear, "Hello, Dinocop." I don't feel too well. Okay, no, still has an existential crisis. Don't leave, we want to hear more from you. Can't, sorry, too much. We share emotional moments here at the place in the middle where we might join each other, but maybe not. All disagreements and elaborate thinking are said and done. That's what really counts. Everyone at home, take care of your loved ones. He's so real for that. Why do I accept to be part of this corny TV show? Okay, so we still don't have an out for that. I don't know if it continues, but there is more to that topic, and I feel like that might be one of the bits of dynamism that we need to be able to speak to. Whether that's by doing something else, whether that's the thing that ticks it over, I don't know. Okay, so we go back here. Just checking. He's still at the booth again. Big misunderstanding. Okay, he's back at the booth. He's watching the debate here. If we talk to him in the crowd, it would probably fill this bit in. Okay, we are at 4 o'clock. All three of them are going to be in the lobby now. This is most likely when they all swarm Carmen. Oh, no, this is when they hang out. This is one of the times that we were able to spy on them and find out about part of their password. The chair Dinocop is sitting on. It's so uncomfortable. Such a poet, man, using this metaphor to talk about the alienating condition of being created to become the only dinosaur cop. What? I'm literally talking about the chair he's sitting on right now. I used it the other day and it totally messed up my back. Felt like there was something under the seat. I guess I'm the poet then. Well then. Soda can. So Pat's at the counter, so we can smell Pat's perfume there. Let's throw some cans at the trash machine while we wait here. We were able to run into these to get things for some of the folks, but... So there's laundry room we can't get into yet. So we know that the maid's cart smells strange. We know that there's supposed to be something in the moose up there. Okay, the wrappers disappear given time. Okay, so it won't be until about 9:30 that they return to their room. We can't do anything as far as Carmen is concerned without the binoculars, which will be the next day's cycle. But we should be able to get the flashlight tonight in this for this sequence. What are your favorite moments of this year's convention? The Dandinosaurs. Stumbled upon a very special disc at Rouser Records. Changed my life. I think I became a better dino just by listening to it. There was some, like, transcendental prog rock kind of jobby there. Try the video game the kid made? He tried to explain it to me, but I couldn't quite understand. You know I hate video games. Such an inferior form of art. The other red dots appear. Never tried that. Mattress is on break. For taking time to have this discussion about the Brontosaurus meat regulations with me. I'll relay your opinions to my team when I talk to them on the phone tonight. Opinions of people like you is important. Okay, so now we know... Okay, so there's the debate. So last time it was... trying to remember what it was. Something about the meat industry last time. We need to get past his... you know, whatever kind of crisis he's having in order to work through that part. Anybody else that is of interest during this? I want to go back here and see where these guys go. They said they do something in the garden. Run out and talk to our... one of these times we'll find out how to get something like a cheese puff. So one of the rats seems to want something like that. Pachycephalosaurus, I need to go undercover. It's a good idea. Here, take this really elaborate Dynalist undercover costume. Red hat with a star on it. I have received the uniform, comrade. Them heading to the bar. I think we've listened in on them. Yeah, I've got to postpone my speech. Okay, we have the best stage hands, and these are last-minute substitutes. They have no clue what they're doing. A cab, even Dinocop, which is a common enough graffiti in the dino areas, apparently. Like them specifically calling out, yes, even Dinocop. All right. Again, about 9:30. What else can we do during this? Can't see anything she's doing. It will be very narrow to hit that. So we probably can't. I don't know how we would do anything here. I don't know how we would safely get up there, you know? I'm too superstitious for my own good. If my beliefs make me feel better, why not? Well, you're throwing a lot of money into the fountain. Like, a lot. Yeah, watching the baseball game. Oh, them glued to the TV. They keep babbling about the same old stats, the trades, the rookie that will supposedly save their favorite team in 5 years. Yeah, they think they know this sport, but they don't know anything about baseball. It's a baseball game on the TV, opposing the Minnesota Twins to the Seattle Mariners. There are a few dinosaurs playing on both teams. Your kind has been allowed into the league some years ago, but it's still underrepresented. It's hard to play baseball with small dino arms. That won't help me. Okay, this is... They can keep their police. We should have our own justice system. So if we sit here to spy on them, we get stuck. If I recall, it didn't really do anything for us, so... I'm sorry, if we sit there to wait for them to move, spying on them didn't really do anything. ran the long way to get to that. Dirt. The blogger uses that booth as a streaming spot. They are a triceratops, but they are pitching the idea of a full, like, carnivore diet as the thing to do. And while they're doing that pitch, they wear a meat necklace. So that conversation ends. A little bit longer before the Apoblop is ready to talk to. Flashlight in the bag of wires. Bert goes to play accordion in the garden. Is the one eating a protein bar. It's Dino Kid and the worried dad. Dino Kid wants to get them to retrieve their plush from the cat in the garden. All right, we're gonna watch this guy. Don't have a chair from which to spy on them. But it should be about 9 o'clock that they start moving. Eats a protein bar each day so that he can so he doesn't lose all his gains. Mostly that's paraphrased, not hypothesized. It's one of those guys. Tangentially related. It's older news, but I saw a video of a streamer out of Russia that was talking about how they wanted to get bulked up. But the exercise and whatnot that they were doing wasn't getting the results that they wanted. And they found out that there were some bodybuilders that for shows would use a very particular type of gel injection to kind of shape some of their muscles. Like a subcutaneous injection using a very particular chemical. And they mentioned like, oh, I could get that and I could, shape up my muscles and I would be all buff. And they did the injections on stream. And it really, it was starting to look strange. Like, infecty strange. And they talked about things like they were running a crippling fever during this process. Elman, I'm just talking about a stream that I saw. Well, a video about a stream. Let's see, we just need to grab the bag of very useful wires from the heavy equipment case, be able to finish our special project. Sounds like it's a very, very tricky to steal it. The case also stores the flashlight. Paula doesn't want the fancy flashlight to get stolen. Possible to go through the case during the day, and it's locked at night. can we learn the password? Need to find a way to read her lips when she's saying the code without her realizing or something. Feels like an oddly specific and almost impossible situation to stumble into. Unless she forgets the code and has to ask someone else to remind her. Okay, it's about 9:30. We run up to talk to the Apple guys. But the injection thing... So the guy starts supposedly injecting this chemical into his biceps. And his biceps are both looking bigger, but also not great. Like, he's getting a severe fever, and it's starting to look a bit odd. Well, this continues, and his arms are looking really bad, and some of the people viewing it are saying, like, you need to stop. Well, it turns out that it wasn't the specific chemical they were talking about. It was kind of a petroleum-based stuff, and so he thought, you know what? Vaseline is like the same thing as that. It sounds very similar. So he was just injecting store-bought petroleum jelly into his muscles. So he ended up with these big, like, I don't know if if you'll get the reference, but essentially Popeye forearms, but biceps instead. But they looked like water balloons in real life. Well, apparently, though, that fever was for a good reason, because he was getting a horrible infection. And while he didn't lose his arms, they had to go in there and carve out a bunch of stuff. And in between this, he also tried to go into, like, arm wrestling and boxing and whatnot, because clearly, you know, inflating your biceps with jelly is the same thing as getting strong, because bicep bigger means strong. But yeah, he had to have a whole lot of, like, dead tissue carved out. This has been your medical horror story for the day. Okay, so now we have more information on Kronjaeger. Didn't expect you to sneak into his room. What you found out is really interesting. We could have paid him so much. Who could have paid him so much money in cash, and why? If you learn more about the source of his guilty feelings, he seems to be crying a lot in front of the poster that says "Business before bitches and friends." There is a channel that I sometimes watch. It's called, like, Chubby Emu. And most of their videos are titled, "Person did a thing," along the lines of, "Person did a thing. This is the terrible thing that happened to insert organ here." Some of the things are really innocuous. Some of the things are, well, yes, you deserved that for doing this. But universally, they're kind of horrifying what happens. Destroyed a burner phone the Bazaar sold him. Why didn't he want the call to be traced? That's an important detail. Something sketchy is going to happen or already happened at 6. Right. It's probably already happened if he got paid. He's trying to get sober. He wants to make a deal with Jan Zero so he can eliminate the regulations that control the meat industry. Guess he doesn't feel guilty of killing brontosauruses then. Very interesting information. Doesn't pinpoint the source of his guilty feelings, but it'll help us. He's promised a pair of binoculars. You can use it to read people's lips from a distance. Okay, now we get up. We go jogging this way. We have Paula. We have Steve. Kronjaeger we can't do anything with yet. Okay, so we want to get down a floor. All the way around. Get down a floor, we get into the serial killer's room to the balcony that we would be able to look across into Paula's room with the binoculars. In theory. We have time to, like, roll around and get lost a little bit here. Okay, from here, we would go over here into that room. Carmen asleep reading her Dynalist book. So this should be the room we want. Job is making me so stressed. Can't wait to talk to Sarah after this shift. This will skip ahead until she is going to her next location. Guy looks agitated. How long do we have? Reasonable amount of time. Second floor, right side from the windows. Well, these are super useful. They're like long-range newspaper. Go around here. This room here. You all right in there? Who's this? It's the Just a friend. I thought maybe you'd like some company. Friend? I don't have any friends. Everybody forgot about me. Well, we don't know each other, but I saw you through your window, and I thought you looked nice. Thought I looked nice? Me? It's been a while since people looked at me and saw a nice thing. Okay, come in. Ah. Well, let's ransack your place real quick, sir. We've got a lot of time, so... Hey, stranger. I was famous once. Millions of people thought I was funny. Didn't last. Now I feel so lonely. It's like my fans took everything that was inside me and left a void there. Maybe I'll get out of my slump if I get rid of the stuff that reminds me of when I was famous. Oh, hey, cool. We can buy things from him. Goth boots. Retro shirt. Cat ears with bells. Space pants. Oh, we'll need to find a little bit of money. Oh, we have a secondary shop now. All right, we need to run back over. Oh, we need to run down to the garden. Running. Wait, no, we know what they're doing. We know what they're doing. We have time yet. First, let's see if it's the same conversation. He's been forgetful. Okay. Yeah, long-range newspaper. It's convention. It's all glazing. Jam pretends, invited me to sing to help me, knows I can't say no, need the money. He knows I hate this kind of event, won't help my career. Always doing this, wants to keep me dependent and humiliate me. Always needs to have the upper hand. Maybe it's time stand up for myself. Pull a stunt during my performance. Ruin his setup. Be fun. Moving a black pawn to c5 with confidence. Looks like he knows the Sicilian defense by heart. Isn't that a Princess Bride reference? Oh, there she is. Now they're pushing back the press conference again. I don't know, it seems they're not ready yet. I mean, as long as they pay us extra, who cares? Remind me the code to the case. I keep forgetting it. 2998. They are. I have obtained... Like, this is a critical tool. Getting those binoculars is crucial to several of these markers. Like, they almost immediately chain into another tool that we need. Useless for most, precious to some. Okay, so we run out this way. Oh, wait. Just want to make sure. Okay, this has gotten us the binoculars and the flashlight. We run out here. Creepy cat should be moving around. Plush representing Dinosaur Cop. Makes you feel weird. Yep, it runs off if you get too close to it. And if you can follow it, then you can find its lair. We just had already encountered it. Ah, those things are so creepy. Fast enough, we can take that. My Claw Patrol plush. Thank you, Dinocop. Grow up, I want to be a cop, just like you. Conflicting feelings overcome you as the kid compliments you. Can't seem to formulate a proper answer. Officer, you brought back the plush. Thank you so much. Here's a small gift. Thank you for garbage. You've given me literal garbage. So they're leaving now. In order to use the oh, yeah, okay. It is the smell of whatever's in the bag, which will be the drugs they're using. We go to the cafe. Very confident under his disguise. You wish he couldn't outrun you when you try to catch him. You feel powerless. Your emotions are about to get the best of you, till you spot something odd on his left hand. A really distinctive tattoo. Moron, he didn't cover the tattoo. Now you can identify him. Oh, the sweet taste of revenge. Well, we know it's a little yellow dude, so... I believe there is another... like, knothole or something I can check. Zip around and verify if there are any other little spots like that. We know we can use this next evening to see what they're getting so high off of. This is the smell of Pat's perfume. This is unexpected. I thought we would have to get into the laundry room somehow. I mean, we may still get into the laundry room somehow this way, just... Okay. Mushrooms. I'm not aware of any other way I can run faster. Okay, we had to get a bit of a downhill push. Get all of the other smells out of the way. Someone left a written note. As an offering to the mushroom gods, I bury my beloved burgundy sweater into the ground. Thanks to the great fungus, I connected with my friends, Kronjaeger and Paco. Every day I will wear their love instead of my burgundy sweater. You found Pat's sweater, but you're going to keep it. Things like dirt and mold and garbage and whatnot, if you throw them away in the disposal robot, you get money. Soda cans, you get items. I do not understand the question, Jojo. And given that your name did you intend for your name backwards to refer to the Powerpuff Girls? Out of curiosity. Okay, if we return to our room... Anything we can do right now? Though in sequence, I would say the Mojo Jojo is the thing that informs what the acronym would mean. That burgundy sweater. Cute round glasses. Space pants. I also have no idea what that's referring to. I tend to be behind on any sort of like meme or trend of that nature. By behind, I mean upwards of like a decade or more. Okay, where is Bert at this time? Probably eating. Then convention hall. At the very least, we can catch him at the convention hall. We don't have all of the information that we would potentially need here. We still need to figure out what that is. Which may mean we need to delay that until we can get here. The garden, we can drop off the wires. I also appreciate that you have Dragon Ball, like the original Dragon Ball Krillin. Oh, okay. Looking for yellow guys with a distinctive tattoo. Same tattoo as the tagger who made the very offensive tag targeting you. Dragon Ball in the very earliest, like, up to Raditz, is the last time that I feel like they actually do martial arts in Dragon Ball. After that, it rapidly devolves into rule breaking. I mean, world rule breaking. Like, they say something works this way, and then they immediately decide it doesn't actually work that way anymore. Like, almost next scene, they say, well, it's supposed to do this, but it doesn't. At best, the rule is held once. But yeah, first sequence in Z where it's desperately holding a full Nelson where they do a sacrifice play. And in Dragon Ball, a great deal of it, you can see things like footwork and actual punches. And energy attacks are all a big deal. After that, it rapidly becomes just teleporting around or flying around and throwing energy blasts. A nice tattoo you got there. Thanks, I got to upset my mom. I have unresolved parental issues, and I unconsciously structure all of my life around them. Makes sense that you wake up at night to paint obscene messages on walls then. Yeah, and that was a big aspect about the Crane School, is before they learn, before Roshi reveals the Kamehameha to them, the Crane School demonstrates things like levitation and the Dodon Ray and whatnot. And that escalation is huge. Just being able to throw a light laser is a big deal. I can't remember what the actual name is it, but Tien's triangle disintegration attack is terrifyingly powerful. And it is supposed to be one of those, if you lose control of this, you will probably kill yourself and lots of people around you. It's why when Nappa appears and Chaosu's self-destruct doesn't take him out is meant to be an escalation. Like, a big deal. But for quite a while, we keep seeing that Tien's super move is amazingly powerful. That is one of the only abilities that maintains its power. And it is a demonstration of the strength of the opponent that it only flattens them instead of disintegrating them. Okay, I'm caught. Feel bad, man. You complimented my tattoo, and I wrote mean things about you on the wall over there, and now everybody's laughing at you. Sorry, officer, I just wanted to be loved and be part of the gang. You need to apologize. Sorry, I swear. Random guy at another table. You shouldn't be sorry, man. Your graffiti is awesome. Yeah, don't let the cop intimidate you. But he complimented my tattoo. He's nice to me. Poser, that doesn't mean anything. He's still a pig. Oink, oink. Yep. It's... Kamehameha is another one that gets power creeped hard in Z. That is a burn most of your energy attack. That's what makes it so powerful, is that it's fantastically draining. But because you expend so much power, it is commensurately that powerful. But very quickly in Z, it becomes Hadouken. It's just another fireball. It is not any different than any of the other energy attacks. There are a lot of characters starting in late Z that are, I think, unforgivably badly represented in the series. Like Piccolo, Gohan, and similar are tragically left out, but the worst are characters like Krillin, Roshi, and I can't even remember his name now, and that's part of the problem. The guy who's always in the crater in the meme, one of the one killed by the Cybermen. His power move was originally Wolf Fang Fist. Yamcha, there we go. While he wasn't Goku, but we have to remember Goku in the original Dragon Ball is Sun Wukong. He is fantastically strong. Like, he is just naturally more powerful, and learns swiftly. That is his superpower. Is he's competent and he is naturally phenomenally strong. The Nimbus and the staff are just because Sun Wukong has that kind of thing. The fact that he doesn't use the power pole outside of the movies is another tragic omission. But Yamcha, Krillin, and Roshi are some of the really terrible omissions, and also one of the big power creeps. Krillin's Destructo Disc, I think it's Kenzan or something like that is the actual name of it. That is technically Krillin's move. Nobody else is supposed to be able to do it. And it is akin to Tien's power move. It is a kill move. It makes sense to demonstrate in a kung fu movie perspective, in a martial arts movie perspective, an enemy preventing the Kenzan from killing them is a demonstration of power. But it eventually becomes another fireball. It is just a move that he tries that will miss. So we never get to see the thing work. And that's terrible, because by the time of things like Super... Oh, yeah. And Frieza just wings around Destructo Discs like, oh yeah, I can use this suddenly. Yeah, we could play the card that he learned the move after Krillin hit him with it, but they could have at least made a bigger deal out of it that he learned the move from Krillin by observing it and is now throwing the kill move back. But the end of the Namek saga is another one of those. This is just dumb. They drag that out, and we're ignoring the most of this is power up sequences with people saying, "Oh no, he's powering up. Let's do nothing and exclaim." Setting aside those scenes, we have one of the big instances of demonstration that Goku is the villain. Goku is the primary villain of Dragon Ball. Starting being generous right about there. because Goku frequently demonstrates either completely inappropriate mercy. Like, yeah, this guy killed my friend. He has genocided most of this planet and he's blowing it up. But you know what? I'm going to spend a chunk of my health to heal you because that'll make you a better person. Cell Saga was their last chance. The end of Cell Saga said it's never going to get better. Because at the end of Cell Saga, they had an opportunity to do a passing of the torch to Gohan. Like, the scene was set up. Yeah, he only cares about fighting, and it's that he endangers everyone around him and very frequently the world. Super is the most egregious instance of that, where it is straight up told to him, do not do this. If you try to do this, if you mention anything like this, everybody is in danger. Across dimensions, everybody is in danger. And he's like, oh, but I get to fight strong opponents. Feel bad for the kid. Ask him one last thing before leaving him alone. Cross out the Dinocop part. Only that part? It's kind of a weird request, but okay. Do you think you're better than your coworkers or something? Given the coworker that we work with? Yes. Yes. Goku is as much a victim of the writing, though. Let's be clear in that. They are constantly bending over backwards to have opportunities to say, but no, actually, Goku is bestest boy. No other character is allowed to be cool. But at least one of those tournaments only happens because he requests it of the little godchildren. It was until he suggested it to them, the idea of a tournament did not enter their mind, and because there had to be stakes, and I could be remembering this wrong, but because there had to be stakes, it was, we'll destroy your universe if you lose. Like, that was the stakes for anybody. Now, I know there are also multiple tournaments in that sort of arc. It will definitely admit the possibility of a faulty memory. Does that make it look better for Goku? Yes. Does it make it look better for the writing if we take that? No. Super is another instance of let's dawdle around until Goku's hair dye sets. Especially the very brief period where it's like blue and red hair. Okay, let's see here. We need to get to when he is signing autographs, which is about 11:30. Then after the debate, Carmen will be in the lobby. In the garden at about 9, we drop off the wiring. What was the period where they decided that the Super Saiyan form of the moment was going to be, let's have an even bigger forehead and hair down to the feet? I can't remember which form that was. What was another element of that? So we have the fantastic scene of recruiting Krillin, demonstrating Krillin's intelligence and fighting capability still. And let's keep in mind, at that point in history, Krillin is cemented as the strongest human. Roshi is still fantastically capable, but is well past his prime. He has been exceeded by his students. But Roshi still has a fantastically powerful bag of tricks. Those two are recruited and Krillin gets a cool recruitment scene, and Roshi gets I get some cool stuff, but I am past my prime. I cannot keep up anymore, which I think is a valid path for that character. Krillin is egregious because his participation in the tournament ends with what amounts to a fart joke. I beat you with a smelly shoe, haha. It is a huge letdown. But again, nobody is allowed to approach Goku in coolness. If they do, they need to be defeated in some fashion, because Goku has to save everybody. It is okay for the protagonist, for the main character to win, but I feel like they could do a lot better at making him cool without it being at the expense of everyone, including his spirit being there to essentially stand behind his son and be to get equal credit, you know? I like how they had to come up with an excuse for Boo not to be able to participate. At least they remembered that Boo existed this time. Okay, well, we can't participate in the debate, so that's useless. We need to get to 2 o'clock. Does this get us to noon or what? Yes. Give me waffles. Those are pancakes, but fine. All right, so this puts us at noon. If I recall, he was too stupid to pass a written test to get in. Or he was asleep or something. I can't remember which was the marker. But he is one of those characters that has been introduced. He's kind of like Superman in Justice League. You have to have an excuse that he can't participate. Because he is actually stronger. Like, he would be able to win. And we can't have that because we have to keep the camera on Goku and, for some reason, Vegeta. Vegeta is presented as the rival of Goku, but again, the writer spoils that over and over. Because he's never actually Goku's rival after Namek. He's also an example of, oh, he was a villain. He was a monster, but now we're cool. That's Ganzelman. The Majin portion where Vegeta essentially makes a deal with the devil to fight Goku. I buy that. From a writing perspective, that is a constant thing. It's like, I could finally beat him if I do this. But it reinforces the, why do we hang out with this guy problem? Let's remember, he's murdered planets. Like, we talk about Goku endangers people with his battle lust, essentially. But Vegeta murdered a lot of people, even once he arrived on Earth. Like, a lot. And it's not like he's like, oh, I'm super sorry about this. I don't consider you people super inferiors anymore. He's married. It's a common problem in a lot of shonen anime. Is we have recruited the villain and now he fights for us thing. And everybody conveniently just kind of doesn't talk about the evil. I appreciate that they acknowledge that Frieza's still a bad guy and they have him quickly do the betrayal, but recruiting him is kind of... No. No. Like, oh, we need him because he's strong. No, you don't. You don't, and you didn't. Okay, so he's going to be at the convention. Anybody at all. Mr. Satan could have been there. It would not have changed the plot at all. They brought Krillin and Roshi along and threw them away from a writing perspective. They just, oh yeah, they're here too, and they lost. Again, it's a... How to put it? So, it feels tired when they recruit Frieza. But you are correct in saying he is a useful weapon. Now also, do not hindsight it. Do not look at it and say, oh, but he held out long enough in this round. Because they can decide who wins what. It's and the nature versus nurture thing would be a cool thing to bring up in their interactions with Vegeta. They don't. He's just present. Like, in the intervening time, they're like, oh yeah, and Bulma hooked up with him, and they're having a kid now. It would be really cool if we demonstrated the character development. It's implicit in the mind of the fans. It's we have to jump to that conclusion to justify his presence, but we're justifying his presence. And even then, we further justify his presence in the Boo one after he says, hey, I'm going to join Team Genocide in order to fight Goku. And then we forgive him again. Oh, but he was influenced by a villain. He's still a bad guy. We could, like, those markers of having that struggle be put forward with his character, make that part of arcs for him. Give Vegeta arcs where that struggle is part of it. So, like, he's constantly, I'm the Prince of Saiyans, I'm stronger than him. But give him his own arc. I think that's ultimately how a lot of it boils down to. Give these characters their own sub-stories. Like, full-on sub-stories. Give us a Vegeta arc. Flesh him out further. Don't just, play the, oh, he's a Saiyan, that's how he is. One, that gets kind of gross really fast. I wonder if he'll actually remove that. But, like, if we're going to have those characters, give them their full story. Let them have a moment to demonstrate this is why they're with us. And that we're not treating them as a weapon. Again, we can set aside Frieza. We are allowed to play the we are bringing forth a demon to fight for us, kind of thing. Well, thanks for joining us, Jojo. Perfect opportunity to just yammer on about anime. Yeah, we could use coffee to skip time, though. Okay, so with the flashlight, if we get past the debate and we go to when she's in the lobby, oh, we'll have to get him after this. All right, we need to go to about 4 o'clock next. Yeah, I think ultimately there's a great deal about Dragon Ball that would work better. Oh yeah, yeah. I don't think that it's necessary to remove the they want to fight. That there is some sort of component to that. but I don't think we should just play that as a get out of character development free card. It is an excellent opportunity for a yes and. Come on, Steve, let's get serious. You talk about humiliating Jan because he kept humiliating you. At some point, you even said you'd do something so crazy during his show that he would never get elected because of it. Feel like you could be the key to my case after all. Mr. Officer, keep your voice down. You've got my attention. Whatever case you're working on, I'm innocent, I promise you. I can explain. I stay in room 200. Come meet me tomorrow morning between 7 and 11:30. For my safety, it's important we don't speak about this in public. Okay. What's another example? If you're familiar with it, there is an anime called Fairy Tail. Same general vein. Story arc centered around fighting. And at one point, you have a villain that is meant to be kind of a evil form of the main character. They're essentially dragon slayers, and they have magical powers affiliated with the dragon that they are affiliated with. So you have the fire dragon slayer as the main character, and then at one point we have a major villain that is the metal dragon slayer. And the metal dragon slayer straight up crucifies one of the allies, stakes them to a central tree in the town with giant metal spikes. They survive. It's not, this is a primetime quote kids anime, so it's not like and then they stab them. But she is out of commission because of that. It absolutely happened. That character remembers. But Metal Dragon Guy is now also part of the team constantly. What do you mean? The red dragon should be the good guy. In D&D terms. Okay, so we have that. We've talked to him there. We need to talk to them there. He's going to be in the lobby, but we don't have the rest of the dynalism information, which we need to get from Carmen, who is going to be in the lobby at 6, so we can coffee forward again. And you are allowed to redeem characters. Let's not... I feel like people are quick about the free redemption card, but it's a story. So let's assume they can be. That they are truly repentant and everybody is okay with it. That shouldn't be during a fade to black, between seasons, shouldn't be something like that. They should get an arc. Scanning. It's the... I turn around and help you at the last minute doesn't count as a full redemption. That should be the kickoff to a redemption. at the very least, a full arc of them at least being we're actually cool now. Like, he encounters the other person, the one that he nearly killed. Again, give that guy a story, like where they are the center point of at least some moment of direct forgiveness. Could be like an episode or two kind of thing. But what do I do to at least come to terms with the people that I directly hurt? And it can't be, I didn't fight to the death with the heroes. I turned on the bigger bad. That was the cost of admittance. That's where, okay, you could be redeemed. And, like, we didn't get that with Vegeta. We get you were the bad guy. I think we also... Anyway, you were the bad guy. Fade to black. You married Bulma. I want the story from in between that. I know that I'm not actually the target audience of this. Like, I want that story. Not just signing autographs, writing extensive messages. We need employment and housing adapted to the needs and bodies of the Dino people. Can only be exploited. We want capitalists to stop robbing our bodies. Okay, there we go. Okay, he is at the bar in the dining room. Theory. So I think that's also an important caveat to what I'm saying is I acknowledge that there are elements of these that are not written for me. Like, I can't stand solo leveling because they break their own rules immediately. Like, one of the core plot arcs is breaking their own rules constantly. The initial concept, this is the exception, okay. But then the constant revision of that and the inability to assess what they are claiming becomes a problem for me. But it's also a power fantasy anime. It is a revenge fantasy and a power fantasy. We do also need to evaluate the fiction in its domain, in the this is what it's for kind of thing. We are wearing the green hat, the cute glasses, and the burgundy sweater, which apparently he finds irresistibly attractive. Hello, stranger. My name is Bert. How may I help you? I am a Dinolist student from another town. My name is, Entrancing Mysterio Dinolist. Kind of like, how I'm saying stuff like, I want to see them actually give proper, proper, like, credit to the characters that they have introduced. One Piece is painful in a lot of ways for me, but one of the key ways that it's painful is they can't decide if Usopp should actually be there. Like, there are plenty of moments where they show he is very capable and intelligent, but very, very frequently, he is what I call the B team. And the B team is, they're there for the Scooby-Doo chase. They're there to run and panic and get chased around, but their contribution to the actual story is often nil. Like, it's irrelevant that they're there. Not always. Again, there are some nice moments for them, but it's a disservice to the progression that they show for the character. With that said, he's largely there as comic relief. Like, that's what they're using him for. And I acknowledge that, but the writing pains me. There are a lot of anime in the past 5+ years. I don't want to say lately because time is horrifying lately. But revenge fantasy and worse have shown up a lot in mainstream anime, and it's kind of disturbing. The goal is to help build a stronger Dynalist movement. Like, Shield Hero starts out as pure revenge fantasy, and it maintains some of that. And while the theme that they're talking about is largely rooted in the system, like the RPG world they're in, there are elements to what they're actually using for that system that are real questionable. Like, we could have chosen something different. Like, you wrote it this way. That was a choice. It's the trope, artist poorly concealed fetish. Or writer's poorly concealed fetish. Like, great, sounds like a great plan. Should meet around 8:30 in the garden. Okay, so now we have to go to the garden very shortly and kick off that event, which may give us time to drop off the wires. I don't think we'll get to the bathroom in time. Okay, still wait for that. I didn't need to loop around this way. The exit's right there. Oh yeah, they do cover what's happens later. I mean the using the slave terminology. And the fact that one of the early plot elements is no, I want to be his slave. It's, again, it's rooted in both the, for some of it, it's rooted in the mechanics, but it's a particularly ew form of harem. Can you get past that? Oh, absolutely. It's, but ew. Ew. The, my problem with it is that it doesn't escalate well as a series. If you manage to set that aside, then eventually their escalation isn't great. Which, I mean, we were just talking about Dragon Ball, and Dragon Ball is one of the iconic we don't do escalation well. Like, the stakes escalate, but character power and threat don't get that nice back and forth. Early Dragon Ball did a lot. Again, by the end of Cell, it's right out the window, but personally, by the end of Raditz, it starts going out the window. The difficulty, I think, is that the agency that they have her show is her choosing to remove the actual agency. Because remember, the system that they have, the thing that she requests is returned, is the brand that says he can control her. That ultimately the thing that they are saying that she chooses to have is that he has absolute control over her. And that's the tricky element. The I want to stay with him despite that. That moment where she returns to him after that, I think is cool. I mean, that is emphasizing that she acknowledges that despite the trappings of it where it started, that his relationship with her wasn't what it was presented as initially, like from the get-go. And the dynamic between the characters isn't that. But there is that element of there is an undercurrent in the writing, you know? It's that, and again, this would be fine if that doesn't become a mechanic that they keep demonstrating later. That a romantic interest says, let's jump in there, you know? The bird girl and what have you. Um, let's see. Pleasure is mutual, my friend. I cherish the chance to have to learn from an inspiring mind like yours. In which we manipulate this guy in order to perform breaking and entering for us. From Boise, Idaho. I heard Boise's Dynalist Circle was plagued by a lack of accountability towards the harm caused to omnivorous holding bodies. What do you think of that? I think the omnivorous that hold their bodies have the right to do so with no harm caused by their accountant. Yeah. And that's why I say the idea of the artist's poorly concealed fetish is there are a lot of things where it's you chose to include it this particular way. It's clear that that was a choice that you made. Like you wanted this. The trappings of this would be okay, but this. Like, what's another example? Made in Abyss. I love the setting of Made in Abyss. But at least every other issue, there is at least one scene that it's like, oh no. No. Just said, I didn't understand. It caught me off guard. Was it dumb or really intelligent? If it was intelligent and I didn't get it, I must not let my ignorance show so quickly. Let's ask him more questions and see. Made sense, and I'm aware you are not defined by the flaws of Boise's Dynalist Circle. You're a person of your own. It's poor Bert. So, for a refresher for folks, we broke into Bert's room. We stole their room key, got into their room, found their diary, read their diary to determine their kind of fantasy romantic partner, who we are posing as, and we can see that Bert is desperately trying to keep that in mind because they are coming off of what they perceive as a really painful breakup. We are doing a bad thing to further our case. We have an important case that we're solving, but we're doing a bad thing to this guy. One of the main questions that divides our movement is, what do we do about humans? Where do you stand on this one? Should absolutely be Fruit of the Poison Tree, but I get the feeling based on the setting that they much it's much more of a feast from the baskets of food that we produce from the fruit of the poisoned tree court system. Take up less space to impose fewer things to us. They need to co-constitutionally evolve alongside us. This is from the book that Carmen is reading that we can look at once she passes out in the library. Answer seems to make him more trusting. This is very visual novel dating sim kind of thing. It's also what I think. I mean, I'll never trust a human in my lifetime. Maybe as time goes on, if they accept to organize a society in which we can both evolve alongside, our children won't have such a strange relationship with them. The Phoenix Wright style, casemate. Yes, all of the evidence shows that you are not guilty in every way, definitively. But tell me this, who is guilty then, huh? Because if somebody else isn't guilty, despite all evidence to the contrary, it must be you. Can't remember. I think it's Pursuit is the music that usually kicks in during that. There's a particular theme that happens during in Phoenix Wright. There is the you're in trouble and scrambling theme, there is the basic courtroom theme, and then there is the usually the very heroic back and forth that happens during kind of the victory push. And that can happen midway. It's kind of a build up to a climactic moment kind of thing. The peak of your micro arcs. But there's a track for that in every game. And it has that real high energy vibe. The short-term goals of the Dynalist movement. What short-term goals the Dynalist movement? What are the short-term goals the Dynalist movement should try to achieve? Okay. Employment and housing adapted to the needs. That is the thing that Carmen was writing on her autograph cards. He's super thrilled by your answer. I think so too, and I think this is achievable if we get our message across clearly. The average dinosaur is not a political beast, but in today's world, we all need jobs and housing. This is quite grounded. By tackling these tangible issues, we might open our movement to more people and gain strength. We need to be less solely in theory. We need to embrace praxis. Bert, I'm grateful for this conversation and this time spent with you. I have an idea. It's a bit silly, but we're getting along so well. Why not have a bit of fun? I figured out which room Dinocop is staying in. I know that as we speak, he's not in there. He's outside having a chat with his stupid partner, Mark. If you weren't here for the beginning, Mark is the prime example that there is a very civil rights movement allegory going on here. And Mark is our token very bad cop. Like, his first words in it, and from then on, are, I'm one of the bad ones, is the emphasis of that character. He's meant to demonstrate the default as far as how much of law enforcement in this setting views the dinosaurs. You think Dinocop sucks, and you're right, but Mark, he's so stupid. One of Dinocop's first lines in the game is that Mark is a moron. Again, the emphasis being Mark is a bad person, is what they're trying to call out. Not a, like, that's where it derives from. So the he's bad at his job follows. What if we used your hard head to break down Dinocop's door? He'll come back to his room and realize he's not welcome here. That would scare him a bit. That's not a bad idea. There aren't a lot of risks to this plan. Everyone here despises Dinocop. Nobody will snitch, he said, to who is clearly Dinocop. Though it does make you wonder, what is the differentiation folks have? Are we to believe that Bert is really, really, really dumb? This is a possibility. But aside from him showing, like, some timid cues in his manner of speech sometimes, there is at least an intellectual bent to him. He doesn't seem to be a, her boss, what we do today kind of character writing. So what is it that they differentiate? Because is it that he is just dazzled by the ideal outfit that he described? That seems to be the case. Because he is able to look at us and say, that's clearly not Dinocop. And that seems to be their angle, is that he is deluding himself. What do you think more specifically about the police? ACAB, even Dinocop. That's the graffiti. I believe this is his stance, is that the dinosaurs need a means of policing themselves at this time. He's stoked about your answer. This is the stance that he makes at his booth, is that the idea of Dinocop is not viable because that is here we're inserting this kind of limb of our law enforcement system into you people. And instead what he's saying is there needs to be a law enforcement within our community that can grow and eventually, like, collaborate with. How they would do that, yeah, we don't get that far. But given the disparity in the systems, it's not shocking that they would want something like that. We need to form our own criminal justice system. For sure, it'll be fairer than the ones humans use. In the end, they'll probably steal our ideas, make them their own, and pretend they invented the whole thing. That'll be another fight, one we already know too well. And I'm down. Let's do this. Let's show Dinocop he's not welcome. Be the first Boise X Monstervrath Dinolist collaboration. A small but satisfying one. In honor of our new friendship. Hopeless romantic. Date someone. Room 202 is where the copper stays. Are you sure? What if you're mistaken and someone else is staying in that room? I'm as sure as my shirt is burgundy. That is a beautiful shirt. It smells weird in this part of the hotel, doesn't it? Yes, because a rat stays in room 202. It smells more like chicken or human meat, if you ask me. I am reminded of Undertale's papyrus encounter, with the fantastically complicated dating interface. Don't get cold feet. Break down the copper's door with your hard head. Why do you keep saying copper like a Londoner? Aren't you from Boise? Oh, it's because I'm excited. My English side shows up when I get excited. My father was English. He's dead now. Super dead. You can't find no information about him online. He died before any social media got invented, even MySpace. You're such a surprising character, Entrancing Mysterio Dino Listo. Never met somebody quite like you. Your personality is so unique. Some could think you're making it up on the fly. But I know you. We had such a beautiful discussion earlier tonight. This is one of the special things that make you who you are. It's one of the things that they haven't dove into much is what is the exact kind of origin of Dinocop. Because it's kind of implied he's a full-on clone, like raised by the people that made him. So no actual parents kind of scenario. Like your burgundy sweater, your green cap, and your cute round glasses. Just watch me. I'm going in. It would seem so, casemate. Because they keep implying he was made. Not that they like found somebody and trained them. It's that there were no dinosaurs that wanted to join the existing law enforcement force. So they made one. Oh, there. Bert? What the hell? Is this Carmen's room? Carmen, what are you doing here? Yeah, it's Carmen's room. Well, of course they're built. They have to be made better, stronger, faster. You have to graft in the sound effect generator. Hey there, Levi. You're joining us for some, perfectly legit law enforcement breaking and entering. What are you doing in my room, Bert? I told you I needed some space to think about our relationship, and you crashed down my door? Never struck me as a violent and possessive guy. I'm sorry. You weren't supposed to be here. Ooh, bad phrasing. It's supposed to be Dinocop's room. That's what Entrancing Mysterioso Dino Listo told me. I guess he was misinformed. What are you even talking about? Entrancing Mysterio Dino Listo? Did you hit your head too hard? My new friend, Entrancing Mysterio Dino Listo. He's a dinolist from Boise. What kind of undercover agent name is that? Here he is, I guess. I see. You got blinded by his burgundy sweater, cute round glasses, and green cap. This is obviously Dinocop in disguise. Okay, so yes. It's you were dazzled by your ideal girlfriend outfit. Yeah, she's wearing a clothespin. So the reason that we wanted to break into this room is the smell of chicken, which, as far as dinosaurs are concerned, smells just like human meat. So from outside of the room, we could smell chicken. And having broken in here, we can see her sleeping with a clothespin on her nose. Well, kind of on her beak. We had such a deep conversation. I wasn't even flirting. But even then, I couldn't keep my eyes away from his perfect fashion style. Carmen, you're under arrest for possession of human meat. What? Don't play dumb. Your room reeks of human meat. Even I can smell it, and everybody thinks I suck at smelling. Mr. Officer, I'm not playing dumb. I can't smell anything. I wear a nose clip when I sleep. It helps with breathing. It's good for your brain. You should try it. It does smell like chicken in here. Find the source of the meat smell. Here it is, human meat, right under your bed. Never seen this bag before. Something weird is going on. Oh, play with me, you freak. You've been on our radar for a while. Makes sense your actions would escalate to terrorism. Wait a minute. How do you know it's human meat? Human meat smells like chicken meat. We have to get this analyzed in a lab to know if it's human or chicken. Someone called us and said there's human meat in this hotel. Now I find a bag that smells like chicken human meat under your bed, Carmen. Roy's one of my main suspects. Harvesting human meat fits with your agenda. Sounds like one of your allies betrayed you. Maybe Bert over here, because you broke his heart? Come on, I didn't even know this was her room, remember? I knocked down her door thinking it was your door, you useless pig. Why are you mean to me, Bert? I thought we were friends. Wait, who called you? We don't know. Caller wanted to remain anonymous. How convenient. What, you mean anonymous tips could possibly be abused? You see, I'm being framed? What if the caller called you and put the meat under my bed, specifically because he wanted to get me arrested? I have a lot of enemies, people who wished I would shut up. You, Dinocop, could be that person for all I know. You'll arrest me now if you want to arrest me. I'm a dinosaur and a controversial public figure. My whole profile plays against me. But if you want to do the right thing for once, you'll at least get this bag analyzed. She made some convincing arguments, but let's be real. She's probably just trying to buy herself time to escape. So now, get the meat analyzed. We have a lot more things that are unresolved. Let's make a deal. I'll get this meat analyzed, but if you do anything stupid meanwhile, you'll be in prison for a long time. My partner, Mark, put up a really strong security perimeter around this hotel. You're stuck here until the case is closed. Officer, my only hope is that there's no human meat in this bag. If it's human meat, even if it's not my bag, I'm done. If I escape, I'll have to live in exile forever. I'd rather not. Get this meat analyzed in an independent lab, not a police lab, and I'm in. Why not a police lab? If you give your colleagues the bag, they won't wait for the results. They'll put me in prison and close the case the easy way. If I give the bag to an independent lab, my colleagues will accuse me of tampering with evidence. I can't do that. Might as well arrest me right now, then. It doesn't feel right. There's got to be a way to do this right. Maybe sometimes you've got to bend the rules a bit to do the right thing. I'll try to find another lab. We got a deal. It's hard to trust you, officer, but I guess you're my only hope. Help her get her door back up, and then both of you go to sleep. I repeat, don't do anything stupid. You want me to repair her door? You're the one who Come on, Bert. Let's just do it. Oh, man. Bag of human or chicken meat. So we still have whatever Bazaar and Kronjaeger are up to. So what time we got here? Okay, they're already in the bathroom, which means we can't enter. And we're already past the time for that. Not too shocking. Okay, so we'll have to cycle the time here. Checking a couple of things here. Buttons, buttons. Do, 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 do. Okay, I think this is actually a pretty good breaking point for the night. That one. So we got a little further to go. But that's a major checkpoint that we just hit. Is finding that we've still got to wrangle some of the others because there are people that are still implicated. So Jan Zero, Steve, Kronjaeger, all of them have kind of orbiting involvement here. So we need to wrangle those. So that'll be for next time. Probably schedule that in the coming week. Next stream is going to be a coding stream. We're in a position to make some good progress there. But all right, folks, I hope you had a good time watching with us tonight. Thank you all for joining us. If you like what you saw and would like to see more, remember to like, follow, subscribe, comment. All of those buttons are generally good things for the channel, so I'd appreciate it if you press them. If you'd like to consider helping financially support the channel, you can do so through platform-specific means like memberships and super chats. Thank you again, Casemate. As well as other platforms which are you can locate through the link tree that can be found in my bio and video descriptions. With all of that said, folks, I hope the rest of your day is good, and I will see you next time.